So bodybuilding to me nowadays, it's one thing in my life that I think whatever I put in, I'm going to get out of. Bodybuilding for me is a tricky one. I was never one of those kids where from a young age I looked up to the Arnolds and the Chris Bumsteads. I kind of slowly moved into it along my fitness journey. So I actually just started out going to the gym because, funnily enough, at uni I wanted to play rugby again. I played in school, but I was never very good. And to play that at uni again, at a college level, I wanted to basically put on some weight. After uni, kind of lost sense of purpose, and as I'm sure a lot of you out there would be facing the same thing, going through the same experience where after uni you kind of lost sight of a goal in the gym and don't really know what you're doing. So then I had to kind of pick something, and then the most obvious choice in the gym was powerlifting or bodybuilding. Dabbled in both for a while, and then decided that with a conventional 9-to-5 corporate job, it was too hard to do both powerlifting and bodybuilding at a higher level. Well, a high enough level. So then I decided to pick bodybuilding instead of powerlifting just because I wasn't that strong. So yeah, and then started training more like a bodybuilder, then started reading more into about the sport. Then only then did I start looking at people like Arnold, Golden Era, Sebum, and that's kind of my entryway into bodybuilding. And nowadays, as I look and as do a bit more research and have a bit more knowledge in the scene, then I look up to people whose physiques I would like to try and emulate. One of them being Brian Buchanan, but that's all proportion to genetics. I'd like to think I've got a small waist, but we'll see. Now don't get me wrong, as much as bodybuilding has done for me, I think it's also you've got to be careful that it doesn't take too much away from your life as well. I'd be lying if I said that I haven't made any sacrifices for it. I think it's safe to say that my life and the way I live it has drastically changed ever since I've trained like a bodybuilder, but more importantly, ever since I've made the decision to compete naturally in a bodybuilding sense. So one of the things that you might be thinking is diet, food, training, time spent, what I do before and after work. Those are kind of the obvious ones where, I've stopped drinking. Good thing is I never really liked drinking alcohol that much. Eating becomes a lot more of a discipline where there's a lot of instances where you eat for macronutrients and micronutrients as opposed to eating for purely taste and satiation. Every time you get home from work, pick up your gym bag and go to your gym. Most days it's fine, but long work days, that becomes a lot tougher, so discipline comes into play. But then there's also other aspects of your life where you think it might not go into, but before you know it, it's kind of taken over. One thing would be relationship, for example, where it's very tough and difficult sometimes for you and your partner because, let's say I'm in prep, I can't go away on holiday for, 6 months, for example. So I can't go on holiday during the summer. And for me, I'm completely fine because at the end of it, I know my sole goal is to compete and be competitive in the natural bodybuilding stage. But for my partner and my girlfriend who isn't in this bodybuilding scene, it's a sacrifice that she has to make. So not only does it have an effect on your life, but it has an effect on your life and your loved ones as well. Something as simple as not being able to go out to eat with my partner for, 6 months, can't go to a restaurant. It takes a lot of understanding from your support group and your family to be able to understand and kind of make the adjustments in their lives to kind of suit you and accommodate for you in a way. So yeah, there are a lot of aspects in life, and you've got to be very careful that you don't make too many sacrifices and you don't have too many sacrifices from your loved ones making for you because they never asked for it. So yeah, bodybuilding can do a lot for you, but also you've got to be careful that it doesn't do too much harm for you as well.